This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
Change the conversation, win some games.
I'd like that. And in fact, the opportunity is right in front of us on a Thursday. Excellent montage choice by Mad Producer, the master mixer of the Monday montage. And here's how the montage meal was prepared. I schemed REM's Everybody Hurts. Nordo suggested the Larry Graham funk appeal of Ain't No Fun to Me. And that's all off a third Minnesota Vikings loss, this time to the world champion Eagles. It quickly hit me. The REM piece, Everybody Hurts, may be a little overly dramatic. But hurt is subjective. And football feelings definitely were hurt. For some Vikings fans, the way the champs left U.S. Bank Stadium with the money. And good morning. That, for sure, ain't no fun to me. That for sure ain't no fun to us, you, or anybody other than those cheering for our demise. Those who thrive when we hurt. Those who hear the happiness at our Friday football feast covenants and hope everybody's football feelings are hurt and that we suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous mishaps. Yes, everybody hurts, but we get it. You know, that song lyrics like, when your day is long and the night is yours alone. When you're sure you've had enough of this life, well, hang on. Probably, in fact, definitely a little over the top with those lyrics tying to a football game. But as football feelings go, are the Minnesota Vikings holding on for dear life this 2025 season? From 3-3 and win, loss, which means, just think of it this way. Wentz, 9 for 9 at Tottenham Hotspur to win it. Throws his fourth pick six yesterday to something called Jalix Hunt. Or Javon Hargrave, 2 sacks in the first game of the season. And none since. Or J.J. McCarthy wins the one at Soldier Field all by himself. Then can't muster a touchdown for the home opener against Atlanta. We haven't seen him since. In, out, good, bad, good, bad. Happy feelings, then downtrodden hearts. That's what middling teams do. And facts are, the Minnesota Vikings are a middling team yet to find offensive consistency. And defensively, just when they fix some run defense problems, old Jalen Hurts cuts loose with a perfect passer rating. You'd think he didn't. Only other guy to do that against the Minnesota Vikings was Jared Goff when he played for the LA Rams. You know, during that season, which started by thinking, you know, it was cool to have linebackers run with a young, spry Cooper Kupp and or Brandon Cooks.
I always loved that one.
Yeah, that was a perfect passer rating that night for old Jay Goff and his 5 touchdowns. Nordo made a really good point on Fan Line yesterday. If the pass is on target to T.J. Hawkinson, it's a touchdown.
Yeah.
And no need for a Superman leap and or reversal. The point was Wentz's accuracy, with respect, was the worst it has been since donning the colors and definitely factored into the loss. Good morning, Mad Producer.
Good morning. Carson Wentz was as inaccurate as I have seen him, and that tells a lot of the story of what happened yesterday. We can dig into the frame-by-frame replay of that catch. I think the ball did hit the ground, and then sadly it didn't come up with a touchdown. So initially, everyone's thinking T.J. Hawkinson can't make the big catch. I need my QB to hit his receivers. From an inaccuracy standpoint, from a decision-making standpoint at times yesterday, a lot left to be desired, courtesy of Carson Wentz. Addison early on, we're lauding him and the great catch he made near the sideline. It's potentially a touchdown if he's thrown in stride. I'm still trying to figure out what the second interception was supposed to be. or what he thought he could get out of that. Too much air under the ball, not enough juice on the throw, and Makuba's able to track back and make an easy interception. How about C.J. Ham in the flat? A lot of play calling related conversations and talkers taking place via the text and the talkback machine yesterday, PA. I imagine we're going to get some of it today. But I want people to genuinely TV copy. It's not about all 22. Just watch that game back if you have a chance, and you will see we can nitpick, needed to run here, needed to do this there. Certainly, that happens in every single game. The options were there. The scheme in the red zone was fantastic. We're snapping it over people's heads. Questionable holding call as it was. That's a thing that happened. The ineptitude in the red zone, the inaccuracy of our quarterback yesterday led to us deciding whether we're going everybody hurts or we're going ain't no fun. All applicable on a Monday morning after that game yesterday.
Fairly laid out. Tough for me to leave this conversation not thinking permitting somebody a perfect passer rating and 3 touchdowns on 326 passing yards is not the A topic from the game.
It's part of it. It's one of many.
Holy cow. Wow.
It's crazy, though, because in some ways it kind of feels that Flores just said, here's the deal. Okay. Saquon, you will not be a factor in this game.
2.4 yards per carry.
We are wiping you off the board. It was a conversation at the feast in the Rowdy Monticello, and that happened. But just little issues where how is Josh Metellus set to go one-on-one? And I know it started zone. You guys mentioned second chance passing. A.J. Brown gets behind Metellus. Guys put in tough spots. Isaiah Rodgers, the season that he's had, it felt like in at least a couple occasions, they went at their former teammate. They went at the guy that they used to love and used to have in their locker room.
Yep.
And they found ways to win there. And I mean, Devontae Smith, every single time he plays the Minnesota Vikings, it's like he sets a new personal career milestone. Yesterday being as good as it's ever been, 9 for $183 and that 79-yard TD. Whew, just the quicksand was pulling us in, man. And you're right. One of the many A topics, I think, in this game is how on earth Jalen Hurts had a perfect passer rating and an easy breezy 300-yard, 3-touchdown day against the Purple.
See, everybody hurts.
Yeah, we do.
Sometimes. That was an incomplete pass to TJ, and it was not holding on Brandell on the Naylor touchdown. But I ain't going to get after Bill Vinovich's crew. I happen to think he is the best referee in the NFL, and his staff is the most consistent in the NFL. You see, even in a single game, the tumultuous nature of this middling team, I mean, it's even during the course of a single game. The win-lose. It's yes, touchdown, TJ or Naylor, to no TD, TJ or Naylor.
I always love that one.
The middling aspect of the whole presentation right now even takes place during a single game. The Bears won, the Packers won, and the Lions play tonight. And copyright the common man. If the NFC North is the best division in football, we indeed are the lousiest of the best. Because the Minnesota Vikings are a last place operation. Heading into the 7th game of the season. That's Thursday night at SoFi and against the Chargers, who must hear Coach Jim Harbaugh in the locker room after yesterday's game yelling, "Who has it better than us? Everybody!" I mean, the Chargers have lost 3 of their last 4. In the victory, they almost lost to awful Miami and just were blown out at home against the Indianapolis Colts. Thursday, 7:20 on the Fan isn't a football game. It's a war of attrition. As Nordo said earlier, talkbacks, please. Free iHeartRadio app, baby microphone, KFAN, audio leader. We will disperse them and sprinkle them in during the course of the 9 to noon radio show today. Minnesota Vikings intensive, please. Talkbacks, please. In fact, they could begin about 9:35, 9:40 with Vikes Bites, red light, green light. Talkbacks, please. Free iHeart audio app. Bursage at 10. Finchy tomorrow at 9. And Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah, general manager for the Minnesota Vikings, fills in for Kevin O'Connell on X's and O's also tomorrow at 11 o'clock. Short week planning, though.
HOF.
Win, loss, win, loss, win, loss. Well, I mean, patterns like that just always stay true, right? Which means Thursday's absolutely a win, right? Only time will tell, David. TimberTech and TimberTech.com. Thank you very much for what's on deck 9 to noon, which includes the weekend wrap, courtesy of Hoffman Cooling and Heating. That's next at FM 100.3. KFAN, your cash thing leader.
The Fan, along with two men in a junk truck, want to give you a shot at some bonus bucks with the National Cash Contest. Go to KFAN.com, enter the keyword check. The keyword is check. You might win $1,000 with the keyword check.
Good morning. It's 9:20, and we welcome you back. Your Hoffman Cooling and Heating leader presents the weekend wrap. And with the Vikes, everybody hurts, and including Hoffman owner Scott Hendricks. So let's weekend wrap about different teams and dreams and things that generate memes. HoffmanHeating.net to take advantage of this. How about this? HoffmanHeating.net. Take advantage of up to $5,600 into rebate on qualifying heating installations. HoffmanHeating.net. HoffmanHeating.net.
That time of year.
Denver radio montages may include the lyrics, "Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years."
Snap, placement, kick on the way. It is good! Bronco players celebrating like they just won a home playoff game in most improbable fashion.
Did Jackson Dart for the New York Giants muster 5 touchdowns yesterday? I know he threw for 4.
I thought it was 2 and 2.
2 and 2, so okay.
Because he ran for a couple.
Holy cow.
And I guess I don't believe he threw a pick 6, so we couldn't count it the weird way.
Yeah, why you gotta go there? Seriously, why does that have to happen on a Ain't No Fun to me?
Because
Seriously.
I can't get it out of my head. He threw for 3. He did run. He ran for 1, so
Okay.
a total of 4. Sorry, it was 3 and 1.
Holy cow. Your Bronx, 33 fourth quarter points.
Yeah.
33 fourth quarter points to run down a pesky Giants team. That after being shut out the first 3 frames. Anti-Vike was shut out the first 3 frames, then came storming like a Rozzy on the outside. Bo Nix, by the way, and I'm not being hyperbolic with this. If only for a game, if only for a comeback, Bo Nix looked like John Elway during the Don't Call It a Comeback. And the anti-Vike Sean Payton called some of the coolest, meanest plays I can recall during said Don't Call It a Comeback. Well done, Denver Broncos. And well done, Green Bay Packers.
Give Jacobs up the middle, powering to the end zone.
He crossed that goal line.
Touchdown!
He did.
Green Bay Packers, and the Packers into the lead.
You can't talk that way and be taken seriously.
The Sultan enters the conversation around 11:45. The necessary evil about 11:45. Arizona makes everyone sweat and never wins. They make every single team they play sweat right down to the last drop, right down to the wire, and they never win. That includes Matt LaFleur, coach of the Packers, who late was going to try a field goal very, very late. Field goal teams out there, backup kicker, hit from like 61 earlier, feeling good about themselves. He trots out the field goal unit to tie the game. And then he says, nah, pulls those guys off the field and puts the offense out there, showing supreme confidence in his quarterback, Jordan Love, who wasn't having a great day. That led to a first down hit to Tucker Kraft. Then Josh Jacobs ran in his second and did so a day they sacked Jacoby Brissett 6 times. Josh Jacobs, by the way, has multiple touchdowns, 3 consecutive games. That's very, very nice. They took down Jacoby Brissett 6 times, and the Micah Parsons project, copyright Wayne Larrivee, was making hit after hit after hit. Gutsy win by the border rivals.
You can't talk that that way and be taken seriously.
There was a late drive there where they took him off just to catch his breath for one play. Super productive play, I believe, by Arizona. They throw number 1 back in there, immediately just dominates Jonah Williams on the right side and crushes Jacoby Brissett. I feel, from a backup quarterback standpoint, cool career for Jacoby Brissett. Played for multiple teams. Sadly, due to injury, he's gotten a lot of opportunities, so I guess positive for him. That guy takes some of the worst hits I've ever seen. He went head-on with a corner yesterday, thinking he was a running back. Lost that battle big time.
That's a good win for Green Bay. K9 guy, Keyshawn Nixon and Nate Hobbs, Nate Hobbs, they're coming back to the pack in a hurry. So when that happens, you better get 6 sacks. You better find a way to eke out a victory, and they did. It happened to be the first road win for the Green and Gold this year, a team that improved to 4-1-1.
I've never heard anyone who's more insane than he is. I mean, seriously, he's out of his mind.
You know what's weird and kind of sucks? We have fewer wins than these guys.
First down and goal from the 3. Young under center. The snap, the fake to Hubbard. Rolling right. Now Young rolls back to his left. Eyes up. Young throws. End zone. Diving catch. Leggett. Touchdown, Carolina.
Got Xavier Leggett out there scoring touchdowns.
What?
We have fewer wins than the Carolina Panthers. That ain't great for business. Carolina's won 4 times. Why, Father? Why? At least the Wild is hot.
Move to Forrester, a 3-on-2. Fresh off the bench, Kaprizov trying to get back. Cates through the slot, has a lane, he scores. Noah Cates wins it for Philadelphia. Flyers prevail 2-1 in overtime.
The Caps loss was mind-boggling. And Saturday, another Philadelphia squad foiled one of our professional teams. Our beloved Christmas colors are at the Rangers tonight, looking to turn all the frowns upside down, and it's on KFAN starting about 6 o'clock. Hey, here's some good news. We got some good news for you.
Here's a handoff to Taylor. Good breaking of a tackle. He's into the free to midfield. Down the sideline, near side, 30, 20, 10, 5, diving. Out of bounds or just short at the 1.
P.J. Fleck, coach of the Golden Gophers football team, joins 9 to noon weekly each and every Monday. Takes place about 10:45 this morning, and we are quite excited about that. 2 ways to look at this, right? The nullifying of Nebraska, the quarterback, Drake Lindsey. One side is like, holy cow, Drake Lindsey went 16 of 20 and didn't throw a pick, and he looked awesome. The other side might be, great. Drake Lindsey went 16 of 20 and didn't throw a pick and looked awesome, and we have a young high-end quarterback here, which means we undoubtedly will lose him in the portal at some point of the equation, and that's super special.
Oh my gosh.
And finally, we have a Game 7 in the American League Championship Series tonight. That should be elite drama. It's Seattle and George Kirby at Toronto and Shane Bieber. Maybe Nordo will suggest a prize picks combo that includes Ori Polanco over on home runs and Andres Jimenez under on strikeouts. Game is at 7:10-ish tonight, and the winner gets a rested Dodgers bunch in the World Series. That's the Hoffman Cooling and Heating Weekend Wrap. It's hoffmanheating.net. Thank you very much. Mad Producer guides us through Vikes Bites around the corner on KFAN.
Welcome back, 9 to noon. Vikes Bites.
Vikes Bites.
Vikes Bites is always brought to you by Thousand Hills Lifetime Grazed Grass-Fed Beef. You can shop online. Box of meat shows up at your doorstep. They're also in your local Coburn's and Kowalski's locations, local co-ops as well. Proud sponsors of Gophers Athletics. I know they're happy about the maroon and gold. Players are eating nutrient-dense beef, Thousand Hills products on their training table. Appreciate Matt and everybody, Clearwater, Minnesota company. To the Minnesota Vikings,
and just quickly close circuit to the talkbackers who have been kind enough to jump into the free iHeart audio app to leave second to none takes and opinions and talkers and tedium. Mad Producer is what's going on over there? You can't get to him?
Yeah, there's got
a glitch.
Insert the icon of like the puppy pulling the power cord out of the wall. There are some technical difficulties that I'm working on, but you know what? We got Chad Abbott on the case, and we know that it'll be resolved quickly.
Excellent.
So keep the talkbacks coming. We're gonna jump into them. The number, if you were to sum up the entire game into one statistic, like if we were doing like Nordo's numbers style or whatnot, the statistic that I would choose, well, it's an easy one. 1 of 6. 1 of 6 in the red zone yesterday, and we kind of laid it out a little bit in the open in terms of, holding penalty that wasn't a holding penalty here, a catch that wasn't, kind of wished that it would have been, could it have been a more accurate pass, etc. In the end, 1 of 6. And he even kind of had to get a little cutesy with that one, with Mason in the direct snap, gets it to the pylon, or near the pylon, I should say, took the review assistance, one that went in our favor. Mason with his 4th rushing touchdown of the year. But 1 of 6. Anything that you saw alongside Pete throughout the call yesterday where you were watching and you were just scratching your head the way that all of us were in terms of what happened, or, and more importantly, what didn't happen in the red zone yesterday, the Vikings not finding their way there?
Yeah, I wish I could answer that cogently, but I have not watched a lot of that part of the game back. I was watching the Vikings pass defense, where if I were to offer up some Nordo numbers are provided by
the good people at Zone Coverage, zonecoverage.com. Tom and everybody, thank you.
First and foremost, one number would be 0, and that would be the amount of times the Philadelphia Eagles executed plays inside the 20, inside the red zone. They were inside the 20 0 times.
I always love that one.
And they still won the game. Speaking of the number 0, that's worn by Ivan Pace Jr., who played all of 0 defensive snaps yesterday. Another Nordo number I would offer up would be 158.3. That is a perfect passer rating in the National Football League. The Vikings permitted one for the second time in the history of the franchise yesterday to Jalen Hurts, 158.3. I mean, the first touchdown to A.J. Brown. I don't know if we're supposed to double-team Dallas Goedert in the middle of the field, or if the safety should have been over there maybe helping another safety try to run with A.J. Brown. How can we possibly know? We're not elite defensive coordinating minds. But I would imagine 44 on 11 for a long part of the field probably was not the plan.
Yeah.
So what's really frustrating with that play is just think like football in a park, or football when you get your friends and family members together on Thanksgiving, and before you settle in for the 11:30 Ford Field game, you guys play pickup football, or maybe you're out in the street as children playing pickup football. The quarterback always points to somebody in street ball, like, go that way.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's exactly what Jalen Hurts did to A.J. Brown.
It is.
I always love that one.
I mean, the rush was so impotent that he was able to bounce around, point to his guy, and just say go.
Right.
That's so street ball-ish. It's so effective when you got a safety on a guy like that. But I mean, then you watch that play back, and I'm like, Dallas Turner, man. One-on-one with Lane Johnson. I mean, Lane's good. Lane has been, is, and will be one of the better right tackles in the National Football League. But it's like 3/4 of the way through the play, Dallas stopped playing.
Yeah.
He just stopped playing. I don't know if he thought the play was over or whatever. And, man, he got close to Jalen Hurts, too, and that was right after Jalen went street ball on it and pointed at A.J. Brown and said, hey, numbers in the 40s generally don't play corner. So I'd like to see you run fast. Touchdown, Eagles. A final Nordo number from yours, Shirley, would be 18. Number 18. Any idea what 18 has to do with Nordo's numbers?
Well, I'm immediately thinking Justin Jefferson. I'm immediately thinking Jets and thinking another productive game. Would have liked him to come down with that ball in the end zone on the fade, the 2nd and 1 play at like the 6 or something like that.
Yeah.
But all accounts, like, I'm not I'm not looking at JJ in a negative light, or Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
What are we thinking about with the number 18?
Well, and when off topic from number 18 for a second, the way I'm going to use it here. When you and Ron were not talking about, or Ron talking about National Football League officials committing felonies and fixing games actually for financial profit, the points you were making about the accuracy or lack thereof with Carson Wentz just triggered my mind to open up to a bunch of different things. You were talking about T.J. Hawkinson back center of the end zone. And it's like, if the pass is just accurate, there's no need for Superman stuff, and there's no need for reversal terrorism. And I'm like, hey, very good point. Then I started thinking about some other shots, some throws that were down by the goal line or in the end zone. And like there was one 15 feet over Naylor's head to the east side of U.S. Bank Stadium, then down by the 2 front right of the end zone, west side of U.S. Bank Stadium. There was one to Jefferson where he broke open, and there was a misfire. So that completely played into that accuracy bit you talked about in the open and yesterday very adroitly on a Vikings fan line. But the number 18 involves this. It's the number of snaps Javon Hargrave played yesterday.
Oh my gosh. Above average at that.
Big people get tired. We understand that. Old people get tired. I can understand that because I'm old people. Javon ain't old people. 18 snaps?
Wow.
18 snaps, fewer. Now, Jalen Redmond is outplaying everybody on the Minnesota Vikings defensive line. Levi Drake Rodriguez played more snaps yesterday than Javon Hargrave. I mean, I don't know what's going on with that. I mean, win, lose, win, lose, win, lose. All we do is win, lose, win, lose, win, lose. No matter what. It played into the, 2 sacks on opening night. And then after that, 18 snaps.
That's crazy.
So 0, 158.3, and 18. I got some Nordo number. Oh, I got another one for you. 50. Are you using 50?
No, I don't. I don't have to use 50. No.
That's the amount of snaps played yesterday by Harry the Hitman.
I like that.
He played the whole game. Played the entire game. Made some nice open field tackles, too. Harry the Hitman, go crazy. He played all 50 snaps in the L to the Philadelphia Eagles.
You sparked a bunch of my talkers through that with your numbers, and I do want to go back to one of them.
What about the talkbacks?
The talkbacks.
Hey, I'm just teasing you.
Still in flux.
Because I can see your face.
We're
and it's
working
radio,
on it.
or is it audio? But I think it's radio that provides audio, and I see your countenance, which becomes that of confusion and or consternation.
Do you ever just want things to work? Do you ever just want, like, we look at it in the context of football. Mm-hmm. Early on, before the snap over the head. First of all, I just need the snap to work.
Snap over the head, though.
Can I just count on the snap in the red zone? Like when I say, hey, use talkbacks, please. It's awesome. iHeartRadio app. I just want the page to load. Mm-hmm. Similarly, I see Addison streaking pre-snap, wide open. He's going to move the chains, if not get into the end zone. Oh. And Carson just throws it right into the dirt, 4 yards away from him. I just need to count on that pass being an option and being hit. Mm-hmm. With number 0, with Ivan Pace, we had mentioned this in throughout the week, PA, that, okay, so Cashman's going to come back, but I think Eric Wilson provided some stability in the middle, and Ivan Pace, maybe some missed tackles.
Wilson was their leading tackler into yesterday's game.
And he had a sack yesterday, so he was, once again, for the most part, very productive. Now, he did also have a moment where in zone, he kind of took the cheese on Goddard in front of him, and then Devontae Smith's good for 20 right over the top of his head. It felt like Devontae was just eating up that zone. But number 0 in particular, to go from playing every snap to playing 0 snaps. Did you see that coming, or maybe were we leaning to it mentally the right direction throughout the week, where this tandem of Eric Wilson and Blake Cashman, now that he's healthy, Wilson kind of played himself into that spot, and now Ivan is probably going to have to do a lot of catch-up to find himself back on the field in defensive situations.
Well, I think the instinctive nature of the way 9 to noon took it last week, kind of laid the metaphorical seeds out in front of everybody. If you listened closely and read between the lines to the way we were talking, it just felt like with Blake Cashman coming back and Ivan Pace Jr. On the wrong, visually for all of us to see, on the wrong side of a few things during the course of the year. But then as you watch it back more critically, you see some more things that, well, let's just, in part, let's just think DK Metcalf Dublin.
I always love that one.
So how it's my belief was it will fall off. I don't know how much it's going to fall off. And then I saw Eric Wilson's mom on the sideline before the game, and I'm like, I think it just completely fell off the cliff. Mom's here. Which means, mom ain't here with a sideline pass in the suite area to the right of the tunnel as you head out to the field, unless 5-5 playing the whole game.
So at the Vikes Bites.
Hi, Mom.
At the beginning of Vikes Bites, they said, in some ways, could you sum up the entire game to the 1 of 6 in the red zone? And if you're looking at box scores and stats and ultimately the score line, I think that's pretty fair.
I wouldn't say the whole game. Because whole goes to 100 out of the 100%. I just really, really don't want the aberration. Well, it's an aberration until it's not, unless Herbert rolls out here and goes for 400 and Keenan Allen does what he does to us every single time. Gets like 150 receiving yards on 20 targets, might even throw a touchdown pass to Mike Williams. You know what I mean? It's the Vikings pass defense meshed with their rush, the rush to cover bit, with or without Gink, better with Van Ginkel. But it falls off a little bit in certain areas and metrics without Van Ginkel, who's a vital member of this defense, obviously. It's when somebody hangs a 158.3 on you. They can take whatever percentage of the loss they feel that is. It's some type of a major percentage.
Yes.
Because the run defense had been leaky and they tightened it up. So then something else got leaky.
Yeah, plugging holes in the dam.
But it's not just plugging holes in the dam. It's like trying to stay afloat with those animals on Noah's Ark. It's 158-3. It's 3-0.
Yeah.
It's 300 and change. It's bouncing around in the pocket and pointing at people like you're at Newport Beach playing sand football. So that's really starting to bug me right now, and I probably just need to take a back seat.
But that's where I was going with it, PA, because yes, the 1 of 6 matters a ton. To that end, where you went with it is also 100% correct in the regard that the second chance, I think Pete used this term, second chance passing.
Yeah.
And you kind of bugged me when you started mentioning Dallas Turner. There were 3 or 4 times yesterday, PA, where I just watched him. He's got the initial move. He's trying to effectively bull rush Lane Johnson. Mm-hmm. Lane Johnson ain't new to the show, and he's been doing this at a high level for a long time.
Yeah, he's not new to the chat.
He swallowed him up. And as soon as the initial push didn't work, and I'm not trying to put this on the kid, it looks on tape like he just gave up.
Right.
Like he was no longer participating in the play. I think about like if you ever watch like an action movie and you have like a big time medieval battle scene, and in the background, if you pay attention closely, there's just like a couple of extras just pirouetting around just to be on camera and hope they get on the credits. That kind of felt like Dallas Turner on a few occasions yesterday.
Yeah.
Dominated by Lane Johnson, but after that initial push, I just didn't see the next step. What was the next chance, the next decision to try and get to the QB? And part of that without Van Ginkel. It led to the second chance opportunities, which leads to the street ball. Now, me playing street ball as a kid, I'd point, go deep, and he'd be like a block away. I could only get it like halfway there. But Jalen Hurts just pointing to his guy. It starts out, it looks like they're just trying to fit in the zone, and Metellus is on him. And he just points to him, and suddenly he's 15 yards ahead of him, and it's an easy touchdown. The second chance opportunity, because of our lack of pass rush, indeed is certainly an A topic in yesterday's loss.
Yeah, the one touchdown from 6 tries inside the 20 is also antithetical to even during an inconsistent season with Minnesota Vikings offense. We didn't score a touchdown in the home opener, which is terrible for business. So, and we went a long time yesterday without scoring a touchdown, and the team has a certain part of its identity, no matter the quarterback, that is meshed with offense. Specifically when Darisaw plays every snap and Hawkinson gets what he gets, and Jefferson is arguably best in show, and Addison has had nothing but pop ever since he returned when he plays.
Yeah.
And he was big yesterday too. And now Nordo says that there was a play for a first down or whatever, could have been a big hit, and he was missed. So it even could have been bigger. But it now is about putting a bow on the L, put that box and just throw it away and move, because Thursday's coming fast. And the pass defense for the Minnesota Vikings had been pretty upper echelon all season, no matter who's rushing the quarterback and why. The red zone offense for the Minnesota Vikings had been and still is rather high-endish as the NFL goes, with scoring touchdowns inside the 20. So, yeah, I elevate that 1 for 6 for sure to go with the 158.3 because they're supposed to be aberrations. Like the Vikings after yesterday, they've scored 50% of touchdowns on red zone trips. That's tied for 4th in the NFL. Oh, goody. It's tied with the LA Chargers. Sweet. But they're tied for 4th, even after yesterday. They score touchdowns inside the 20, 1 of every 3 times at home, and 2 of every 3 times on the road. What do we got against Erotic City?
I always love that one.
So those are 2 things immediately as we start to, eventually segue to a sneak peek at fresh meat.
Yes.
Which will be the LA Chargers at SoFi. Pass defense, all right. Herbert's good. I like Hurts. I like Herbert, but I like Hurts more. And A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, high-end. Keenan Allen, Ladd McConkey, Quentin Johnston. Well, they got some high-end to them, too. Man, I got these Keenan Allen numbers here.
Ooh.
I started on Keenan Allen last night. His last 2 against the Vikings, 15 catches, 168 yards, 2 TDs.
Yeah.
That was last year with the Bears. 2 seasons before that, Flores' first season here as
Chargers.
defensive coordinator.
23.
When Allen played for the LA Chargers, the team with whom he came into the league, 18 catches, 215 yards.
Yeah.
But he didn't have any touchdowns. Why? Because he threw one.
50-yarder, Mike Williams, or 49, I should say.
Yeah, the only touchdown pass of his career. Of course, it had to be against us. But he still, on 20 targets, caught 18 of them for 215 yards, 2023. Well, before that, 8 catches, 98 yards, 9 catches, 99 yards. And his debut against the Minnesota Vikings back in the Zimmer days, 12 catches, 133 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Keenan Allen is football immortality. And in 6 games against the Vikings, he averages 10 catches a game and 119 receiving yards a game. Outside of Jahmyr Gibbs, in a smaller sample size, I challenge anybody to find somebody who, over the course of 6 games in a decade, has torched the Minnesota Vikings the way Keenan Allen has.
Wow.
So that plays into pass defense.
Yeah.
With Gink or sans Gink, the pass defense had been mostly okay. Fell off the cliff yesterday. Red zone offense, top 5 in the NFL, still is. Fell off the cliff yesterday.
It did.
For middling teams, that stays the same Thursday. For teams that look to get a dub and then go to Ford Field and get a dub and then come back home and beat the Ravens and try to get a little something going here, they turn both of those around on Thursday night. I guess we'll see, Dave.
Via fan line, I saw this a ton yesterday. A lot of people frustrated. This is more nitpicking than grand scheme type of stuff. But after the non-catch to Hawkinson, you're there. It's 4th and 2. You can kick that field goal, make it 28-22, and then you have, 2 minutes and 50-some seconds left.
Yep.
And then you can hopefully get a stop, get the ball back, and go find a TD. Mm-hmm. I loved the presser and how KO explained it because I'm in favor of what he did. And that is, with the time that we have left, I'm sitting here in the red zone. I can't guarantee that I'm going to get back to the red zone. Yep. If I can get a touchdown here, I need a touchdown. And then we can talk about the stop, use our timeouts, and find our way down. Reichard's good from 60 in our own building. And therefore, obviously, that next drive would require less time. The only issue I have, because they convert the fourth down PA. I think it was Addison for 5.
Yeah.
Wentz can't take that sack. Wentz can't take that sack on the next play. So suddenly now, what I believe was the right decision by the head coach, we're now kicking a field goal on the wrong side of the 2-minute warning. Timeouts be damned.
Yeah.
Where were you guys at in the midst of the action in terms of, where's Reichert? I think that they're just going to kick a field goal here, right? They do not. Wentz takes the sack, clock goes down, and it ends up costing them about a minute of game time.
Well, yeah, I mean, I believe it's we wondered it during the game call, is I thought a field goal made sense there because of the time situation that you laid out. Also, another thing that triggers with me or yesterday did was when the Vikings got down to the 6 and they added 2nd and 1 at the 6.
Yeah.
And it was throw and throw and throw and throw, eventually hitting Jalen Naylor for a touchdown. And there was a holding call on Blake Brandel that was just a bad call. That's the only way to look at it. And again, I'm not going to get after Bill Vinovich and or his staff. And I think people who have followed my career know I have no problem getting after referees and or officiating staffs.
Well, now I got to find it.
If they're inconsistent or if they just let the tomfoolery and the skullduggery of the moment and the loud nature of the crowd and they get nervous and they just can't handle things, well then, like certain referees, they get demoted to side judges, and that happened just last year.
I really hope somebody from the NFL offices is listening to us now on Sirius XM Radio. Trey, Blake, and this staff are awful. And the mistakes they've made today are egregious. And if there's room in the USFL, the XFL, or the Arena League, please send them there post-haste.
That was the same staff last year on Thursday Night Football that had 3 people looking right at Sam Darnold's neck, nearly getting broken back center of the end zone, and none of them had the guts to throw a flag at the end of the game. So anyway, Trey got demoted, and we haven't seen him all year, and that's totally fine. Vinovich is antithetical to that. Bill, you talk to coaches about refs, and they generally don't have a lot of great things to say, but they're quick twitch on, don't you remember this or don't you remember that? They got other things to think about. Vinovich and his staff do good work. They do good work every single week. They're consistent with their calls, and that staff is always around 12, 13, 14 flags thrown a game, and that's really all people in the NFL, like players and coaches, expect from a ref and or officials: consistency. If you're going to do it like this, do it 100 straight times like that.
Yeah.
Vinovich is like that. All right, they missed a call. Brandel did not hold the beefeater, and it should have been a touchdown. But, it got, I think it got loud on Fan Line, or it got loud somewhere where it's like 2nd and 1 from the 6, 3rd and 1 from the 6, 4th and 1 from the 6. We're not running the ball. Well, when you go back and look at those 3 specific plays, I mean, if the Eagles were permitted to have 15 people on the field, they all would have been around the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
I mean, one of them was 9 in the box, another was 8, ended up being 9. And that's just where discretion becomes the better part of valor. Some teams are like, yeah, we see what you're doing there. And we are still so good with our running game, we're going to run into it. Maybe that was the right answer. Or you take what they give and you throw. Why? Because you've thrown well from the minute this head coach got here. And so I didn't really have that much of a problem.
Well, I maybe we'll talk about this with Bursich. You've heard me during KO's time here. I've been one of those guys like, are you kidding me? We're really like an 80% throwing team on 3rd and short. Like we can't move guys back 3 feet, 6 feet to pick some of these up. Are we making it too complicated at times? But here's the deal, man. Watch the game. That's when you complain about play calling, there's so many different things that go into it, and I'm hesitant to do it in the first place. I need more running game out of this mix. I thought that first drive of the 3rd quarter, they were finding their way nicely around the outside, pushing Jordan Mason. Really productive runs, and I liked that, and I wanted to see more of that in yesterday's game.
But
people were open, man. I mean, the coach schemed guys open. The coach schemed C.J. Ham inside the 10 for an easy 7 or 8 yard gain.
That's a good
You're
point.
at the doorstep, and we can complain about running there.
Yeah.
Justin Jefferson, 50-50 with Cooper DeJean. DeJean has a right to make a good play. Jefferson's going to catch that 9 out of 10 times. We can move on with our lives. Hit Hawkinson so he doesn't have to dive. How about Addison in the flat? How about Addison wide open, probably a runaway touchdown, but he has to make a circus grab near the sideline. Hit the freaking guys that are open. How about that? The coach is scheming these guys open. We need to find them. So in a vacuum, running the ball or talking and digging into the minutia of the run game as it pertains to yesterday, I just don't think it's valid. That's where I'm at with that. But I know we got a break. We're behind it. Pete Bursich, I'm already in connection with him. He's going to join us next. But thanks, Thousand Hills. That's Vikes Bites, 9 to noon.
And there's much more to share with that. Like, we've seen Mason and Xavier Scott X amount of snaps over X amount of games now. And they both belong doing what they do, okay? But with all due respect, ain't neither one of them running away from anybody. Aaron Jones runs away from people. And he may be running away from Khalil Mack and some other people like Derwin James on Thursday night.
Let's go.
We'll learn more about that as the week is negotiated. The analyst Pete Bursich, courtesy of Soup Cup Manufacturing, joins 9 to noon next on KFAN.